Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us on this beautiful Monday in America. Thanks so much for spending part of your evening with us. We're sorry a little bit late tonight, but we're doing here a live show. A quick programming note, tomorrow, we're not going to be live at our normal show time of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or today 6:05 Eastern Time. Tomorrow, I believe we're going to be live at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll keep you posted tomorrow on the Great America Show midday updates. We're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow with Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen Reports to go over some of the numbers coming in, the election numbers out of New Jersey, out of Virginia, and more importantly, out of New York. President Trump offering endorsement in that race today. We're going to get to that in just a few moments. But first, I think it's probably best we start the show with what a rough weekend it was for the Marxist-run mainstream media. And that interview President Trump did with CBS's 60 Minutes, which I can't believe he even still goes on and talks with those people. But that's not the only issue for the mainstream media. BBC, the folks from across the pond, yeah, they're in a little bit of trouble, and I think they've got a lawsuit coming their way, folks. BBC has been caught doctoring a video of President Trump's speech that he gave on January 6th at the Ellipse. Editors for Panorama, which is BBC's longest-running investigative series, duped viewers into during the October 24th, 2024 special by altering a sequences of speech that President Trump gave throughout the year in 2021. You say, what the heck am I talking about? We have the video for you here, I believe, and we're going to play it for you to show you what deceptive little freaks these people are over across the pond in London, or UK, whatever part of you want to talk about. Here we go. I believe this is, bear with me, folks. Technology is not my strong suit. Here we go.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Two far different pictures. Take a listen again.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Two far different speeches because they weren't from the same speech. Why would BBC be meddling in our elections and meddling in our politics like that? Now, you may recall that special counsel Junkyard Jackal, Jack Smith's January 6th committee members, you know, those Marxist Dems and rhinos on that panel, also lied about President Trump's January 6th speech. So maybe the folks at BBC got a little confused. Jack Smith, much like the corrupt liars on that January 6th committee, omitted Trump's call for supporters to protest peacefully and patriotically, as you just heard there in the original film. So it begs the question, why are they interfering in American politics? They're not the only ones, and by the way, I think they're due probably for one of those good old-fashioned Trump lawsuits that we've seen President Trump issue out to these networks who think they're going to lie, and they think they're going to get away with it. Now, one of them has been slowly paying the price, is none other than CBS. And for those of you who missed 60 Minutes last night because you were watching football or you were walking the dog or you had something better to do like most people, we've got some of the highlights in the clips for you here on the Great America Show because we do the hard work here and we let you guys have the easy way out of just listening to the highlights and the lowlights of these interviews. So we're going to bring you a bunch of them today because it was an interesting one with Norah O'Donnell, who on her face is, I mean, absolute Trump-hating, Marxist Democrat, whatever you want to call her. So let's roll with first President Trump offering an endorsement in tomorrow's highly contested mayoral. Well, that's one thing I'll disagree with with President Trump on there. I don't think rallying behind Cuomo is the best chance. And Andrew Cuomo himself actually made the perfect pitch for it in a recent interview that voting for Mamdani means President Trump will take over the streets of New York City. To me, that's exactly what I want to happen.
Zoran Mamdani wins the election, Donald Trump will take over New York City. He will be President Trump and Mayor Trump.
Why?
He has already said as much. He will say, because it'll be the perfect excuse for the president to do what he wants to do, which is seize power and control over New York City, the greatest city in the country, if not the globe. And he will say, this person is a threat to public safety. He's 33 years old. He's never had a job. He's anti-police, anti-business, anti-Semitic. I have to come in to protect New Yorkers. And on what would be Mayor Mamdani's election inaugural day, you will see tanks coming down Fifth Avenue with Donald Trump taking a selfie in front of Trump Tower. And it will be mayhem.
Is that fear-mongering, or is that, how realistic do you think that is?
It is what President Trump said he will do, and it is what makes total sense for him to do. He sends National Guard into cities. Why? Because he's making a political point. These Democrats don't know how to run these cities, and they endanger people. And it takes me, Donald Trump, to send in the federal troops to clean up the mess these Democratic lunatics are creating. That's what the National Guard is about. They're not really there for any other purpose. It's a political power play. When I was governor, he sent them into 20 cities. He then said, I'm going to send them into New York. I called him up. We had a conversation. He never sent them into New York. He needs an excuse, a rationale, a raison d'etre to send them someplace. Portland gave it to him. Chicago gave it to him. LA gave it to him. When I was governor, he didn't have it. He is a very tough customer, and you have to be equally as tough, or he will roll over you.
So to me, that sounds like the perfect case scenario. If that's what is in line, I'm going out and voting, because I don't do the early voting stuff. I'm going out and voting for Zoran Mamdani tomorrow. He's telling me that if Zoran wins, Donald Trump is coming over and taking operational control of New York City. Hell yeah, sign me up for that. That's the best news I've heard since almost a year ago tomorrow, a year and a day tomorrow, when President Trump won the 2024 election. That's terrific news. Zoran's going to try to run New York City into the ground. I don't agree. You know, Lou Dobbs always used to tell me, when I would say to him the lesser of the two evils, he would say, there's no such thing as the lesser of the two evils. They're both evil. He'd say, think about what you're saying for a second. The lesser of the two evils, they are both evil. And that's where I think a lot of Republicans and people who are voting in this election are looking at it as that Cuomo's less evil. Well, let's think about that for a second. And we're going to get back to the news. I just want to go off on this little tangent for a second here and vent to you people who are not living in New York. Zohan is a communist. He's a Marxist. He's all of that, right? But what has he really done bad to? I mean, if you're a fellow New Yorker listening to any of us. Cuomo, we watched kill tens of thousands of elderly people in nursing homes. Write a book. Make millions of dollars off of it. Go off into the sunset when he decided to do his little sexual harassment gig. And then he thinks he's going to come back and run New York City? That's evil. Mamdani's evil in a different way. But as far as I'm concerned, Cuomo's evil as all hell. So we're really going to go out there and tell people that just go vote for the lesser of the two evils, the man who killed our grandparents, our loved ones. Remember what he did to the city. during COVID. I mean, a total disgrace. So there's Republicans out there who want to make the case that we should forget all about it. Forget all about it. Go out and vote for this scumbag who killed tens of thousands of grandparents in nursing homes, who tried to get over on Trump. Remember when they said they were running out of beds, they were running out of ventilators? He called Donald Trump. He said, "Get them to me now." And Donald Trump called his bluff. And he had U.S. car makers making ventilators, only to find out that the ventilators were actually killing people. But Cuomo says, "We're running out of bed space. We're running out of ventilators." Donald Trump says, "No problem. We'll send you over 2 military ships. Put the people who aren't sick on here, and we'll have the ventilators over to you in no time." Sends in the ship, and Cuomo F's the whole thing up. Put sick people on the ship with people who aren't sick. People are getting sick now on the ship, dying when they're supposed to be at the Javits Center. He screwed the whole entire thing up. Yet this man's out there somehow doing sort of victory parade that he was great on COVID. So I'll end with this. The table is set. The cards are dealt. Play your hand. You can't come back now, a year later, and say, "We've got to stop Zorhan now." You knew this was the case a year ago, and you all laughed at him. The same way you laughed at AOC, the same way you laughed at Rashida Tlaib. I laughed at them too, but in a different way. The same way you laughed at all these socialist Marxists who have been taking over in districts across the country. So my message to the Republicans and to the Democrats who want to be middle of the roaders, think about this next time you laugh at one of these socialist communists and take them seriously. And guess what? You may not find yourself in this situation that we're in here in New York. Just my 2 cents. So I'll end the rant on that. We'll get back to some of the news because this will be the last day to rant. Tomorrow, New York will have elected a new mayor by the time we do our showtime. Just a reminder, folks, as I told you, tomorrow we'll have a live show, I think 8 or 9 Eastern time with Mark Mitchell, Rasmussen Reports. We'll be going through the election results as they come in, discussing what we know the inevitability is tomorrow. So we'll have all that tomorrow live right here on the Great America Show. You could stream it on our channel, Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, or you could stream it on Rasmussen Reports with Mark. We're going to take a quick break here, folks. And the other side of this quick break, we're going to get back to some more of President Trump's war on the mainstream media. It's a war that's needed to be had. We're coming right back, folks. Please stay with us. Let us know where you're tuned in from, and we'll get to your shout-outs as we are live tonight here on The Great America Show.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that we're making it through. My employees and I want to thank you for your continued support by extending our wholesale prices on classic MyPillows. Get standard classic MyPillows only $14.98. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.98. But it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.98. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including my standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens $18.98. Kings only $1 more. Not only that, order $75 or more, ship absolutely free.
From all of us here at MyPillow,
thanks, America!
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us here on The Great America Show. We are live tonight, so we'll get to your comments and questions and concerns and all that good stuff towards the end of the show. We appreciate you guys always tuning in. As I said, tomorrow we'll have that live show with Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen Reports, so be sure to tune in for all the greatest commentary. We may try to bring in some special guests. Maybe I'll go through the Rolodex and text everybody on there and see who we can get to come on the show tomorrow. We'll have a big a poll party, as Mark Mitchell likes to call it, and we'll have some fun. So if you're not doing anything and you want to gloat together and wallow in misery together, you know where you can find us tomorrow night. So back to that interview that President Trump did with 60 Minutes' Norah O'Donnell, which I can't even believe he did, sitting down with those Marxist, leftist, communists. President Trump was asked by Norah about the comparison, as I said before the break, of him and Zorhan. And President Trump always finds a silver lining in a bad situation, which he knows New York is about to face tomorrow. But you folks all heard there about President Trump uh, allegedly sending in the military and the tanks and all that good stuff that Cuomo told us was going to happen if Mamdani wins. And I say when he wins tomorrow. President Trump says he's absolutely right. He'll do just that. If he asked her if she knew what the Insurrection Act was, come on, Mr. President. Of course she knows. They know all about insurrections. They caused an insurrection in our country in 2020 when they stole an election. They caused an insurrection when they kicked poor old Joe Biden to the curb. They know all about insurrections, Mr. President. You don't have to tell them or coach them on any of that good stuff. They know all about it. So that's good news. If Mamdani thinks he's going to go to New York and allow prostitution and drugs to pour through the streets, the military will be right on in. And here in New York, we welcome that. It'll help us be safe. So we're still in this government shutdown. What are we in, day 33 now? Losing count. Day 33. President Trump was asked about it and how he's going to end it. Of course, they always try to put the blame on him. I mean, the man could be on a beach somewhere, retired, and they don't care. They'd still blame President Trump. President Trump says he's all for ending the government shutdown, but he's not going to do it by Chuck Schumer extorting him. And I've never heard such great words from President Trump. Anyone who gets extorted by Chuck Schumer, you don't deserve to have respect. Different kind of nuclear. Notice how she tries to blame President Trump for it, like he has something to do with it. The Republicans have voted 15 times now, and the Democrats want nothing to do with it. They're to blame for it. And they eventually will, as President Trump said, will capitulate, and they will cave. They have no choice. Are they just going to let this go on forever? Now, you heard Nora O'Donnell mention the troops there, like she gives a damn about our troops. Like she cares about our members of the military or our people on government contract or government salaries. Like they care. All of a sudden they care. Now, they care because they've got Donald Trump in an interview and they want to attempt to make him look bad, which they can't because the American people are awake to this nonsense that they've been shoving down our throats now for 10 years. So it's nice to hear President Trump says he has no interest in being extorted by Chuck Schumer. And why should he be? Chuck is a loser, and he's losing his way. As President Trump puts it, he's a basket case. I don't think you're going to get an argument out of that. Now, what is Chuck Schumer mad about? Well, why won't he open this government? I mean, you could go down the laundry list of things. But to me, it's just hysterical to watch her sit there and try to get him with a gotcha question, like why are you keeping this government shut? And they won't do that because you're giving the orange man a victory that is inevitable. He's going to get the victory one way or another. He's already gotten it because he's exposed why you have the government shut down. You have the government shut down over health care for illegal aliens. How do you defend that to your constituency? Clean CR? These idiots won't even vote for paying our service members or our Border Patrol agents or our air traffic controllers. I mean, they're so stupid. They're putting themselves in harm's way. They get on a plane every single week to commute to D.C. I'd say probably a good portion of 535. I'd probably say 400 plus of them get on a plane multiple times a week to transport back and forth to D.C. And they're holding up air traffic controllers, flying into DCA with what we watched happen there, I guess a year ago, with the military copter colliding with the commercial plane, the DEI hire, who killed everybody on board. That's the game they're playing. That's the game they're willing to go down with. To me, it's just so not logical. that they've stooped so low into stupidity. But I'm here for it. We're all here for it. We have no choice. This is the new norm of the Marxist Dems. And they're going to have to deal with it. They're going to have to deal with the repercussions when the voters want to know why their loved ones aren't getting paid, or why their planes are delayed 2 and 3 hours, or why, God forbid, there's accidents. We saw another one right here in New York just on Friday night. 2 planes collided off the runway at LaGuardia Airport, or as I call it, La Garbage, for anyone who's flown into it. The Marxist Democrats, it's not a hill that I'd be willing to die on, folks. We're going to take one more quick break here. On the other side of this quick break, the White House is cracking down on reporters who are trying to snoop around inside the White House, and the Department of Justice has sent another request for the 2020 election records in Georgia, following a refusal to comply with state election board subpoenas. What could the good old folks in Georgia be hiding this time around that they were hiding from us in 2020? We'll try to figure it out together when we return here on the Great America Show. Folks, if you're joining us on Rumble, YouTube, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and follow button. Programming note, tomorrow will be live either 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern time. Just monitor the channel, or Twitter channels or whatever, and we'll let you know what time we'll be live with Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen Reports to go through some of the election results. We're coming right back here on the Great America Show, folks. Please stay with us.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented MyPillow. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all three.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King MyPillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic MyPillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Thanks, folks, for staying with us here on the Great America Show. We appreciate it. Happy Monday. I meant to say it. I hope you all had a great weekend, a blessed weekend with your loved ones, and stayed safe to make it back here with us for the Great America Show. We don't like when you guys miss an episode, and we know when you miss it. We see the numbers. So President Trump, in that long interview with Nora O'Donnell, Marxist Dem, I can't say it enough, was asked about something we've been hearing in the news a lot lately, Venezuela. And what the deal is with Venezuela. What's going on over there? We've been blowing up their drug boats like there's no tomorrow. Of course, Rand Paul is very upset. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw Thomas Massey's fellow I've been going after quite often on the Great America Show. He got married. He got like 4 or 5 kids. His wife passed away tragically a year ago in July, I believe. Turns out he's already remarried. Tells me a lot about his character and who he is. He found himself a woman on Capitol Hill that he says he's known for a very long time. So we wish him the best of luck. Just thought it was rather interesting to get married. But I'm not a married man, so I don't know. I'll let the married folks be the judge of that. But a year after someone passes away, I know for me, when my dogs pass away, I don't even want to look at another dog for longer than a year because of the heartbreak. So for a human, I'm sure it's a lot worse. But we just want to give Thomas Massey a shout out to his new wife. So Venezuela, who Thomas Massey, coincidentally, has a problem with us blowing up their drug boats, him and his good buddy Rand Paul. President Trump was asked in that interview if we're going to war with Venezuela. Sort of an interesting answer. Bolton, did she think he had the war plans in his back pocket walking around showing them damn things off? So he says it's likely that Maduro's days are numbered, whatever that means. And I never question what he says because President Trump is a man who says what he means and means what he says. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Now, she also asked him, while we're on the topic of foreign affairs, about Taiwan and China and Taiwan, and tries to provoke more national security information out of him. Once again, I mean, she's absolutely out of her mind. Why not say it? Why not say your war plans on national television to, number one, give away national security information and be impeached, and number two, let Xi Jinping know what your plans are if you're going to blow him up if he decides to invade? I mean, how dumb are these people? Are they dumb or do they hate America? I'm somewhere tied in between the two. Asking for war plans on live television? I really think she thought she was talking to John Bolton. I'm only half kidding about that. I mean, it's a shame that this is the mainstream media now, what they've become. Trending back now towards some news here at home, President Trump was asked about the raids, the ICE raids across the country here in America, and if they've gone too far. A brilliant response. And there you have it, folks. The raids have not gone far enough, and I tend to agree with him, as the deportation numbers are set to hit record highs, but that's not saying much. I think it'll be near, 2 million before the end of the year, or before President Trump's 1 year is up. They've got about 18 to 20 million more that they've got to get, and they've got to really pick up the pace, which President Trump plans on doing with Tom Homan after this first year in office. Things have just been very hard to do with the Marxist Democrats. I mean, not helping, a scintilla with anything. And it has to be because they hate America, as I often say here on the Great America Show. Some big news happening this week, folks. This week into next week, Supreme Court is taking up President Trump's tariff fight because the courts, of course, tried to block President Trump and his tariffs at every measure. The president doesn't have unilateral authority to invoke tariffs. No, he doesn't have unilateral authority to be president either if you left it to the Marxist Dems. It no doubt it is. I mean, one of the biggest fights that's for sure coming up. And if the Supreme Court doesn't uphold truth, justice, and the American way on these tariffs, I think what President Trump says is right. There's going to be big issues in the markets. And there's going to be big issues elsewhere because people are going to think, other countries are going to believe that President Trump doesn't have the authority to do certain things in this country. And they'll certainly try to undermine him on the main stage. They're certainly going to try to undermine him here in America, like the Marxist Dems haven't done that enough. So it's going to set a dangerous precedent if the Supreme Court doesn't do the right thing here and uphold those tariffs. Now, the last part I want to get to in that interview that President Trump did with CBS and Norah O'Donnell, and this is perhaps the best for the last. He was asked about political retribution, which he's been asked many times about before. And if John Bolton and Fani Willis and Letitia James, well, Fani not yet, but I hear she's coming. I didn't break any news there, but I heard she's coming next. But Letitia James, James Comey being indicted. She wants to know if that's political retribution. Political retribution. How do these people ask that question with a straight face? That's the one thing I can't hold in. Political retribution. What was it? If that's political retribution, what was it when they did it to President Trump? The 700 years in jail? The fake rape case in Bergdorf Goodman from E. Jean Carroll? And then the defamation added on top of that? The Judge Juan Merchant, the Judge Arthur Engeron, Georgia, Jack Smith, New York a few times. Why have they never asked him if he believes that he was a victim of political retribution? Why has no Marxist Democrat host ever said, Mr. President, do you believe you were a victim of political retribution? I would love to see one of them ask him that. and why they don't ask themselves that. I mean, I'm perplexed at the stupidity of it all. But I guess I'm the fool because I should never be perplexed with how dumb the Democrats are. Folks, in the latest efforts to stir in media leaks, the Trump administration has barred White House reporters from entering the inner offices of the senior communications officials in the West Wing, citing the need to safeguard national security threats. Earlier this morning, I should say, the National Security Council distributed a memo to White House Communications Director Stephen Chung and Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, noting that journalists can no longer roam freely into those spaces known as the upper press, just mere steps from the Oval Office. Additionally, the White House communications team has assumed responsibility for the NSC messaging following a recent structural change, according to the memo. The memo notes that reporters can continue to speak with more junior press aides outside the White House press briefing office. I think this is terrific news. To block out the Marxist Democrats, because all they do is lie anyway. Lie, cheat, and steal. Down in Georgia, folks, we mentioned Fani Willis. Things might be getting a little bit interesting down there. The Civil Rights Division, which is headed by Harmeet Dillon, has sent down multiple subpoenas now because they want documents regarding the 2020 election in Georgia. The folks down there, the good folks in Georgia, want no part of it. So is this President Trump's attempt at finally investigating the 2020 election? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. We'll get back to you tomorrow about it. That's all for us, folks, here tonight on The Great America Show. We hope to see you back here tomorrow for The Great America Show, where the quest for truth, justice, and the American way continues. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be live at either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock Eastern time, depending on the election results and when they come in. We'll be live tomorrow with Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen Reports to take up all the latest and hopefully have some good news for you out of the great states of New York and Virginia and California. But we'll see you back here tomorrow, folks. Truth, justice, and the American way. Until then, may God bless you, may God bless America, and may God bless the great Lou Dobbs. Have a wonderful night, everybody.